Morning guys, welcome along. Me and Tim have just taken a quick lunch break. If you're watching this back or if you're just joining us, as we said in the description, today's kind of a final kit rundown, a full final shakedown of the kit we're going to be using at our first Milsim of this year with Stirling Airsoft. That will be coming up in the beginning of Feb, 10th,
yep.
9th, 10th of February.
I can't wait to get out to Senny. Not personally been there before, just heard a lot about it. And also I've heard a lot about the weather conditions and how dynamic the environment is. You know, being it's wooded, it's gradiented, you've got urban. Obviously you've been there. For the guys that are going, obviously we do know some of the guys that watch the channel are going to be going. What would be your advice to them before we get into what we've done today?
So yeah, with Senny Bridge coming up, like you say, those of you who don't know what Senny Bridge is, it is a military training area for obia, phibia, whatever you like to call it, but operations in built-up areas, CQB basically, fighting house to house. So it's predominantly CQB. There's a little bit of wooded area. The site I found is more compact than some of the other MOD sites. Now, the thing I would say, it's in the deep heart of Wales, and every time I've been there, it's either rained, had hail, wind so hard it rained sideways. Yeah, I'd say weather preparation kit, you know, good weather kit. So warm kit, dry kit, you know, waterproof kit is definitely, I'd say, the topic of the hour. So today, guys, obviously we've running a kit, you know, our kit out today, basically what we're going to be using at this event. So what have you been, what was, wish we start with what we got up to?
First time I've run the spirits out properly, or the asparagus clone haters, leave a comment. Legit one. So yeah, the first time I've run that out properly, and just seeing how that felt, being prone, shooting behind hard cover, shooting standing up, getting to everything, and also wearing it underneath a leaf suit. First time I've tried the leaf suit out properly. Now I have tried a few other leaf suits previously, but this one's really, really good.
Yeah.
And somewhere, one of the nicest things for me is that internal material. A lot of these are quite lightweight normally internally, whereas this is quite a heavy material. Doesn't seem to snag as much because it's not that kind of light netting. The zip on it's quite nice. It's nice and chunky. It goes up and down smoother than the cheaper ones that are out there that have got kind of quite a fine zip. So if you get a bit of grit or some foliage or whatever in there, whereas this has got quite a chunky zip, so that does help.
And what I was explaining to Tim today is I tried with my one. So obviously I'm running the FCPC plate carrier with the Spiritus attached to the front. Now I know you're running the Spiritus as a standalone chest rig, aren't you? However, I said to Tim, I've tried this leaf suit. This is a north mounted gear from Skirm Shop. This is the autumn fall version. Obviously the plan is to, you know, get a nice dark leaf suit. We can then add lighter colours over the top. But what we found is with this with leaf suits, they're roomy enough that I can actually put this on over all of the kit that I'm currently wearing. Yeah. And still do it up. Obviously I normally wear it open, but it, you know, is an option. We can do it up. You've done the same, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done the same today. Yeah.
Just gives a nice option.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people run gear over the top of the leaf suit, and I think one of the key things that you then get is like a bit of you get that kind of line, that detraction of the lines. If you've got a dark then chest rig or dark plate carrier, whatever, you see them quite hard lines over the top. Whereas Richie was about 80 odd meters away from me today, shooting prone with the leaf suit on, and just broke away that silhouette with the light. As you can see now we're fully in the sky. This morning it was a lot lower. Actually broke the silhouette down significantly to the point where it was actually quite hard to see exactly where you was, you know, like you know, your form, your angle and everything. So yeah, exactly, I think it does defeat the object a little bit.
And much like this, you know, with a plate carrier or chest rig, it will compress the material. Like I say, as you can see sort of here, if I put my arms forward like this, you can almost see like a definitive line here and here, where it just compresses all the material in it. It just does the same with the leaf suit. So having the option to wear them over the top with room to spare was quite nice. So we both really, you know, obviously Tim put his SRS through its paces. You know, we really reached out and touched some good distances. some really good distances. Obviously, I was running the VFC Scar Heavy.
Thing's an absolute animal.
With the TNT barrel, rubber and nub from Skirm Shop. And again, getting some really good results with that.
Thing's disgusting.
It was, we had a, not going to say teething problems, but you know, there was a bit of wind up there and the wind kept changing. It was a head-on wind, but it kept changing from left to right. So we were trying to adjust, you know, the gun itself. It was really, once we took a time, we've got everything set up as it should be with, you know, the hop and, you know, your adjustments on your rifle scope. It then was just a matter of adjusting to the wind itself. So,
sorry about that. If there was a quick break,
blame Jamie Brett,
our Italian friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, reached out some really good distances today. Nice thing about this is that not only are we getting the range, we're getting the accuracy too. I know a lot of people that will get you know, a 80, 90 meter range, but they're all over the place. We were actually shooting at a 2 litre vodka bottle with very, very good results.
And can we just say, it was only halfway up the bottle that was exposed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't the full
whole thing. Full bottom. But so from the label up.
Yeah.
So that was just key. Quite seeing that. Yeah. You know, understanding each other's platforms and how they reach out and how we use them in parallel. You know, it's just two kind of individual tools for a purpose, but also to be used side by side. I think that's something that, you know, we've seen a lot. These kind of sniper pairs go out, both running sniper rifles, and that kind of defeats the object of having, like, you know, a sniper team. Well, you know, in real steel terms, there would be a sniper spotter, right?
Yeah, so I think there's nothing wrong with it, guys. If you know, if there's a sniper team that run 2 sniper rifles, that's fine. But you know, what we really want to do is cover, you know, all bases. So we you know, as always, we don't like to pigeonhole ourselves into one category. Yeah. Whereas what we're doing, you know, with Tim and his SRS and, you know, the cracking job that Skirm Shop and Dan at Sniper Mechanics have done.
Yeah, he built an unbelievable gun.
It's an absolute joke. Some of the shots I saw taken today was outrageous. So, you know, Tim has really got the ability to reach out to, you know, some ridiculous distances. And I'm talking, you know, we ranged, and with a laser rangefinder from Vortex, 80.
Thanks, Chris.
80 something meters.
82 meters.
82 meters, and this was true, flat, and the only deviant was with the wind. And and if I say, what, a couple of foot, so sort of this sort of distance. Yeah. With the wind. So there's that. We obviously, with myself with the DMR platform, obviously not quite as much range, although I was still hitting.
I don't know.
79, 80 meters.
80 meters.
But it was a lobbed shot. We know we're not going to make any false claims here. It was a lobbed shot, but that's not what I'm here for. You know, the DMR platform is there to take up that shorter range.
And I think that is primarily where my sort of beef is that I've seen sniper teams work incredibly well together with 2 snipers, and that is in, you know, a wooded environment, and they're just shooting into a spawn area. I've seen some really cool guys have some good results. Silo and Kicking Mustang on a good video, then to, you know, plotted up in a position, just put loads of rounds down, they slotted a load of people. And that's okay in certain scenarios, but I think for us, we need to actually be able to go and achieve goals and be dynamic, right? So how often has it been where me and you have been on the ground doing something, and then we've had a call in from the guys at Stirling or whoever and said, I need you to reorg, you need to go and do this, for example. Yeah. If that includes hitting a building, hitting a fob, hitting a hard location, if that is taking out vehicles, if you've both got sniper rifles, you're then absolutely hard cut on engagement.
Especially, you know, and like you say, if we're tasked with a different tasking, a lot of the problems people have with using like bolt action sniper rifles is when you're moving from objective to objective, you know, you then have to stop, you know, what's your minimum engagement distance. Yeah. And then take the shot. Whereas, you know, with a DMR, you can, you know, take your time. You don't got to take your time. The shots are quicker. You know, the follow-up shots are quicker. And it's for me, I think it's just a more manoeuvrable platform because it's basically an AR platform. Everything's where it should be. The mags up front, etc., etc. You know, it's just for me, it's a very easy platform to mould myself around.
Yeah, I think it's just more, you know, it's a lot more dynamic.
Yeah.
In a way that they can be used, and obviously I can break down from the SRS to, you know, the MP7 or Scar or something. Can be done, but I just, when you see two people that are solely fixated on just having those platforms and that's it, and then, you know, as I say, in a wooded environment it's okay, but as soon as you go urban, you run into so many problems unless you can be infilled by a team. But when you see like two solo snipers, I think in some scenarios it would work, but if you're going to try and be dynamic on the ground, I think you need, like I say, a DMR platform, or you need fallback platforms. Yeah, whether that be an MP7 or an AEG.
But also, like I say, with a dynamic kind of you know, objective or contact, sometimes, like Tim said, if you're plotted up and you had the ability to sit there for hours on end and take shots, you know, that's fine. But sometimes if we're moving from objective to objective, you know, I need to be able to move, like, you know, bound from like tree to tree or cover to cover. That may involve, you know, switching shoulders, etc. At which point, you know, with that platform, with the platform that I've got, easy, absolutely easy. With a bolt action platform, it's you can, but it's not as easy. Not just because of the bolt action, but you know,
you can do it. But you know, where you swap shoulders but don't swap hands. That's how I've seen it done, where someone would just, you know, bump the rifle over to the other shoulder, but
and you still have a bolt there.
How practical is it? I don't know. You know, at the end of the day, when you look at the real steel snipers, they've got an incredibly, you know, look at the 700 or the M40A5, they've just got this little, whereas, you know, all the power from the sniper rifle in Airsoft is coming from that spring, that rack, so you've got to crack the thing back and then rack it. So I just don't know how practical it would be. But then also, you know, if we're, say, bounding, or we're moving towards hard cover, or we're moving towards the back of a building, constant thing in my mind is going to have to be, if someone breaks now from a window or a door, or someone whips a corner, we've seen this loads of times, and I've just sort of snapshotted or just kind of brought my gun up to start putting rounds down, I've got to realise I can't do that.
Obviously we spoke about this, and transitioning from technically you know, an AEG, you know, AR platform, to where you can just, I say, lick off rounds as and when you want to. You know, someone getting clacked in the face from like 15 meters is not going to be happy. So yeah, there's that. We run through a lot of stuff with that today. Quite happy with that. Obviously, you know, putting those heavyweight rounds down. You're using 4.8s. I'm using 4s.
Yeah, kicking Mustang's balls.
Kicking balls. And again, you know, this, yes, it was a wind whipping up on that top plateau there, but it really, for the wind that was up there, they were quite.
Yeah, I mean, we was getting deviation at 70 meters of about a foot max. You know,
up to that point.
So we were, you know, I would say that if you were putting in at a man-sized target, you're going to be very, very close. Now, if you're going to miss, it's going to be close enough that it's going to whistle past them. If you're going to hit, it could be shoulder to shoulder. We're aiming at a target up there that's, you know, a fist wide, you know, 4 inches wide, something like that. So again, you know, for the platforms, for the way that we've got them set up, I think the way they've performed today, I've been blown away. I need to stop myself from getting into this mindset of 100 meter, 100 meter, 100 meter, because again, I think, yes, it's great to shoot to that distance, but in skirmishing, maybe you take that shot more often. In a Milsim, where that shot could be heavily important, it could potentially give us, you know, a report of where you are. It could blow your cover. It could cause, you know, infraction on the ground, you know, change of movement. It could send a squad that's potentially coming towards you in another direction. I just don't know if I'd risk it. We were talking about this, and I just, you know, I'd rather be in at that point where I know that I'm going to hit an absolutely central mass. You know,
and again, like you said, there's all this talk about chasing 100 meters. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people that claim they can hit 100 meters with, you know, certain rifles, but, you know, under what circumstance? You know, is it 3 out of 3? Is it 1 out of 18? Do you know what I mean? Like, how often are you hitting this 100 meters?
I just still think if they're using 4.8s and they're under the dual limit, they've got a hell of a lot of lob. That's from what I've seen. Now, obviously, I know all guns perform differently, but from what I've seen out of a lot of platforms, I just can't. I can see it being done, but I think you'd have to lob the thing right in. You know, you'd have to be, you know, 10 foot above the person.
But then, that being said, you know,
falling in it like a trickle. You know, it's at the end of its mass.
But like I say, you know, we're talking about obviously the contact side of what you know what we're going to be doing this year. Really, we want the opposite of that. That, you know, what we're aiming for is you know, is not to be seen, not to be heard. You know, remain low key until such a time as we're needed. You know, you know, observation, surveillance. That's kind of what where we're aiming to.
The nice op, I think, for me and you would be to roll in, provide intel for a load of hits, and roll back.
Yeah.
Without anyone even knowing that we were at the event. That would be key for me, is to be that low key, you know, that level of infill, that level of kind of field craft that people roll in and out of buildings, and they hardly even, you know, they don't, if they see you there, they don't pay much attention, and you just roll in and roll out. Yeah. You know, if we've got something locked down, you know, it's avoided for the weekend, and we can just use that to gather as much intelligence as possible. You know, big part of a lot of the Milsims I've ever been to have had HVTs. Yeah. It's always been a key thing, especially with Stirling. You know, there's a lot of old hats there that have, you know, got a bit of a price on their head on Op 4. And that's always something to chase, and 9 times out of 10 it's because, you know, the reason they don't get caught is because intel gets missed, which we've seen fucking loads of, and people aren't paying attention. Yeah, they're just not seeing what's in front of them. Or, you know, that people get so caught up in trying to, you know, get rounds down range, get some kills, etc. They lose track of chasing contacts. Yeah, chasing contacts rather than trying to find the HVT they should be looking for. So yeah, definitely, like Tim says, you know, in some of the events that we go to, there's a lot of guys that have been going for many years, and a lot of storylines that have been going on for lots of years. So these storylines follow on and on and on, and, you know, if you keep up to date with it, it's quite interesting how it unfolds and who you need to be following, who you need to be tracking. So yeah, really looking forward to, you know, what the first event brings, and I think that will really be the you know, the springboard for what we do for the rest of the year. Yeah. So also, what we also you know, tried out today was our sort of little makeshift hide. Obviously, we kind of threw it together quite hastily this morning because we were in a bit of a rush to get some rounds down, get some range testing done. But you know, super happy with that. You know, we're covered if the weather's bad. You know, we're covered, you know, from a camo concealment point of view. Obviously, I will try and do another live video, obviously a part 2 of my camo concealment, just to keep you guys up to date how I'm progressing with that. We get asked a lot via the channel and via both our Instagram stuff, and I won't go into this too heavy, like, oh, I want to do Milsim, what would you recommend? As much as I could recommend all the kit in the world to you, and, you know, through budgets from I don't know, so a couple £100 to thousands, one of the most important things is admin and just being prepared for the scenarios that are going to, you know, potentially unfold. So today we made a hide in and covered, you know, aspects of that hide. So what do we do if it's raining? What do we do if it's sunny? What do we do if it's in the woodland? What do we do if it's more, you know, rubble and rock? You know, like we try to cover off just even if it's just discussing it, how those scenarios could affect what we need to do with that platform. And just those types of planning things just makes such a big difference when you land on the ground. So even if you put your rig on at home, or you put your rig and your backpack on and all your clothes on just at home, and go, yeah, I don't know if that, you know, does that feel right? Does this feel right? Does that need moving? You know, it's just prior planning. It just makes such a big difference. It really does come down to, you know, what, you know, actions on, you know, actions on if this happens, actions on if that happens. So, like I say, like Tim said, we've got a plan. If the weather's looking bad, you know, we know how what we're gonna do with our hide and our setup to counteract that. Like I say, if it's warm, you know, and there's like bright sunlight, which could add to us being, you know, seen a bit more, we know how to, you know, counteract that. Also, you know, we've touched on a case of this is just the rural side of stuff. We've also covered the urban side of it as well. You know, we're covered for that. So there's very, very different things that you can do to, you know, set yourself up for success when you're on the ground. And it's all becomes in preparation. You know, at home, everyone thinks, you know, Airsoft and Milsims are just for weekends. You know, it's all week through. Like today, obviously I set my belt kit up slightly differently for the role that we're doing. Put the belt kit on, put my plate carrier on. The first thing I realised was, you know, this 152 was hitting my my left hand pistol mag. So again, that's something I need to address.
you know, I've tried it on, but I've not really had a good move about on it. Once we got the ruck on and we pushed out, I realised actually that's rubbing, that's actually touching, so I need to move that. The backpack itself was touching one of my rear smoke pouches, so I'm just going to, you know, bump that further around the belt to the sides rather than the back. Little things like this you can just try at home, you know, or put your kit on, you know, obviously not full kit in broad daylight, you know, walking down to Woolworths.
Gonna pick up some little cans of Coke.
Some dumpies. But yeah, so there's stuff you can do that really set yourself up for success rather than failing when you get to the event, you know.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to try new stuff out. Don't feel like just because you've had your belt kit like that for 2 years that, you know, you shouldn't try something different. Just move things around just a touch. You know, I've moved my pistol further back before, and then I thought, well, I don't know if I like it. Kept it there for a bit, then moved it back forward. Then went, actually, no, it was definitely right the first time. So, you know, moving kit around, like Richie said, you know, looking for holes in your kit. Most people go, oh, I'll just get on with it. You know, don't. If there's any way you can make your weekend more comfortable, less impacting on the body, you know, anything that you can do to alleviate any stress on your body, do it. You know, if it means like digging in a little bit, if you find that something rubs or you get a little bit of a sore on your shoulder where your rig sits heavy one side, all those sorts of small things that people go, oh, doesn't matter, I'll just muscle through. Make yourself as comfortable as possible, whether that is extra layers, whether it's socks, whatever. So yeah, don't spend the whole weekend uncomfortable.
No, I mean, obviously, like, you know, this rig, you know, I know we'll be doing a video on how I've got this set up, but you know, I practice this. You know, I put things everywhere I need it to be, so you know, I can access everything that I need to access, but at the same time, it's going to work for the positions that I'm going to be in. So I set everything up. I basically got on my belt buckle, you know, in my bedroom on the floor, laid absolutely prone, made sure nothing was going to be digging in or pressing too hard. You know, once I'm up on elbows with the gun in hand, you know, and it just worked. We proved today, once we laid down and I let hide it, everything just worked. It was good.
Yeah, we did it. So, I think we both asked, you know, I said, oh, is that comfortable? Are you comfy? Is anything digging in? You know, is it in the right position? And, you know, this all will help you when you get to an event. The last thing you want to do is get there and be like walking along with it. You know, where something on your rig is hitting your belt kit, or your pistol sitting too high and it's whacking magazine pouches, or if you run your 320 under your arm like Richie does, something like that, and then you've got a pistol underneath it, you know, just trying to avoid any gear clash. See, when you're getting a lick on, you know, people stand around in their kit, that's fine. When you're sprinting, you know, bit your pants out, all those sorts of things, you know, if you can cover them off before you even get to the event, and you know, it's one less thing for you to have to worry about. So days like this, you know, for us are really good. Obviously, I've had Spirits on, leaf suit, big pack, carrying the sniper rifle. The pack's got a load of stuff in it, you know, just to see how it feels, to feel how comfortable I am on my feet. You know, again, if there's anything rubbing or, you know, digging in. So yeah, it's been a good day. Covered a lot of stuff. Really happy with the SRS. I do need to actually mention that a bit more. You know, that gun is incredible. I like the platform anyway, but the job that Dan's done building it out for me, the thing is just ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. There will be a full review coming on it soon, but yeah, for the moment, if you're interested and you want to get one, Dan just builds an incredible gun.
But again, it wasn't until I saw it side by side, you know, I've actually seen it up close now, in the fact that next to my VSC Sky Heavy, it's actually quite a really short platform.
Yeah,
really short.
Yeah, really short.
Quite compact, you know. That suppressor all in and everything.
Yeah, that suppressor on there is a monster as well. But I mean, it really does bring the signature down. So that's the other thing. If you're urban, you know, airsoft guns in general tend to echo got quite a high pitch, sort of twangy sort of note to them. So quite easy for you to give that signature away. Whereas with a big suppressor on the front, just, you know, it mitigates all of that sound. Just to try and be a little bit more discreet when we are urban. I mean, Senny has got a large, you know, urban zone. So if we do end up getting in there at some point, you know, I'd like to be able to potentially drop some targets.
Yeah, but I know what you mean, but still remain, you know, quite undetected.
Yeah, I want them to just go, oh, yeah, I've just been hit.
Yeah, or at least, you know, with a standard airsoft gun, you know, after 2 or 3 rounds, you can normally figure out where it's come from. Yeah. Whereas obviously we're hoping, even if it just gives us a chance to put some rounds down, you know, by the time while they're still trying to work out where the rounds are coming from, you know, we've wrapped up, pop smoke and gone, and you know, pushed to another location. So yeah, really looking forward to Senny. Really looking forward to it. I know there's going to be a lot of friendly faces there, a lot of good call signs on both Blue Force and Up Force, to be fair, this time.
Yeah, they've had a bit of a mix-up.
Yeah,
So.
it should be good.
Any questions, guys? Comments? Any feedback? Anything like that? Anything you do want to see from us? Please make sure you put a comment in the box below. You can reach Richie at Richie_the Heresy Group, or you can reach me, myself, Tim _the Heresy Group. We have got a lot more content coming. We will be doing more live streams on YouTube.
Yeah.
So if you are subscribed, there's a little bell icon down there. If you click that bell icon, you will be notified on your mobile device or laptop when we go live.
Yeah.
I much prefer this platform. It's much smoother. We're doing it in the absolute sticks of nowhere, and we've had no, drops at all. So yeah, guys, if you are, keen on seeing what we're up to, check us out on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah, like Tim says, we're going to try and do a bit more stuff on here. Obviously, I'm going to try and do a bit more with my sort of ghillie cam concealment progress as how we're getting on with my kit, but. We tried Insta. Insta's good for pictures, but it's just such an unstable, buggy platform. It just and like Tim said, the qualities it's just miles apart. So, other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Like Tim says, any questions, any comments, anything we spoke about today, or anything you've seen you'd like to ask some questions, drop in the box below.
Peace.